So what I am seeing right now is Nasdaq has expanded significantly lower below the previous day's low one, which has triggered some orders, and at the same time we have also cleared Asia lows. Let me go into the 15 minutes so that you can see clearly. We have the let me go do this. We have the previous day's low violated. So the question is, will SPX follow through? We can see that there is some SMT currently, so we are seeing there's some strength on the SMT on the SPX. We're experiencing some strength on SPX on ES 500 in comparison to Nasdaq. So if we are going to be looking for buys, we're going to be looking for buys on SPX, not on Nasdaq, and I can see that probably setting up. So after that 5-minute candle though, we have a very strong break and a clear intention that we have just been released. You can see how the 5-minute has a strong close. We can see the movement back higher. When we are lower, we are below the midnight open. Here it is, and we are below the previous day's low. We are below Asian sessions. Here we should be looking for buys. So that's why my bias is more or less towards buying on the SPX, but we are not getting strength either. I wouldn't say we're getting some strength reading from this. We are getting more or less continuations, as you can see. We tapped into this 15-minute favor gap, and if we are leaving this open, we may be looking to we may be setting up actually. Let's see this SMT on these lows. SMT present, so SPX may be going for the high. That's a kind of, let me just paper trade this. That's the kind of setup I was looking for, because you can see the strength coming in on Nasdaq. Let's see. It's failing, it's catching up. Oh, this is Nasdaq. So Nasdaq is pushing lower. SPX is holding just below the midnight open. That's not what you want to see though. Yep, that's the push I was waiting for. So such push inside, I'd be looking to buy there. Probably a stop loss at these lows. Looking for support at this area. Nasdaq showing SMT, showing its waker. Look at the lows here. Look at the lows, how they have followed each other. The sequence of lows and the difference in sequence of lows that were formed here. So it was quite uniform. It was quite uniform here, but on Nasdaq it was not. So this is the kind of cracking correlation that we are looking for. So we can say that we have SMT. We have SMT here. SMT bolt home. We have SMT there with the S, and that's the push you're seeing right now. So my take profit would be here, would be the AM highs, real sense. So we took out the London lows, we took out all the London lows, we took them out. So this is just a kind of paper trade really, because I'd really be looking for shorts. I wouldn't be wanting to go high. As you can see, we are getting reaction that in fair value gaps here, we're getting a reaction also on SPX. So this was just like more or less of a push higher. Then probably we may get a rejection here. I'm seeing a rejection row. Really clean since we moved higher and we are in premium. Let me put it at that. Nice push on SPX and also on Nasdaq. So no cracking correlation as we go high. So let's see. Need to see a close above this for this to be a propulsion block. So let's see. This will enable me to trail my stop to this low. Seems like it's going to be going our way, so I will trail my stops. I wouldn't want it to come lower than that. If it does, then that's not good news. Close above that would be really good, but we just barely swept the body really. We swept some liquidity there, 56, and also at 930. So there's going to be some level that we're going to be actually sorting out for some time. We are repricing lower because we tagged this, but we're going to push through because of the liquidity that is overlaid there. You can see that this high is at 448.2. This is at 448.2, so this is quite obvious liquidity. So I can actually move it a bit higher, go with it, follow the momentum, and see where our next liquidity level may be. We may be going for the Asia highs too. So I'm going to be having one off here, so let me prepare for that. So once we tag this level, I'm going to be taking one off and then push the rest to Asia highs. Good. So buy sell one, partialing out, and then on Nasdaq you can see that there is a SMT forming. So yes, we took out all these highs, but on Nasdaq we are failing, and we are also retesting these lows, which I was indeed looking for, and you can see the kind of rejection that we're getting. So I'm going to be taking a good amount here again off, and trailing my stop high. I expect us to hold this for a value gap at least, and since I can see that on Nasdaq we are obeying the levels that we had set previously, and we are tapping into the 5 on the Asia lows. As you can see, we tapped in and we got a fairly aggressive rejection. We can be looking to go lower from this, so I'm going to be selling 3. Let me go with 5. So my stop would be at this high that is formed inside of a value gap, which should be a protected high at the moment, and my take profit is the low that is just formed. This would be the cleanest move and my move for the day, because this is what I was waiting for, as aligned in, as dictated in my pre-analysis. A retest on the levels that are just broken, then a failure to go above, and then you push lower. So a failure of this is where I would get my confirmation, which would be a change in state from a fair value gap that was just created from the open. And SMT confirming that we should not go high with the candle closing lower. So this would be my change in state. So that's what I'm going to be waiting for now. This is an early entry into the trade. So an inversion of this favorable gap, and you can see our stop was executed on ES. So we are allowing ourselves to now go lower with this trade. So that as an inversion is going to be confirming that we are going lower with a protected area as our entry. And this confirms the change in state. So we are going to be looking to trail our stops to the body's highs before we see how the price is going to be going there. But I expect a run into, because as you can see we are seeming to overlap this other, to engulf this other favorable gap here into an inversion. So this is going to be quite good of a trade. And as you can see, our TP is being smashed quite well. Simple trade, simple analysis, simple execution. I'm going to take off for here. I can see it's trying to play around with me, so I'm going to be buying, just to be sure that if it comes back it's not going to touch me. And you can see that's a very strong close, so we expect even that TP to get hit before the stop, that is. So it's about probability, this game. What is the probability that this stop at above a change in state of delivery above a fair value gap will get tapped before equal lows are tapped? Quite slow. I already have partials in, so this is just a free trade. That's what you should remember. Thank you. TP hits, simple and straightforward. Stuck to our rules and they paid out. What were we waiting for? We were trading within the previous daily range, so we were expecting two things. One, a break below yesterday's low and a retest for a continuation low. That's what we were just handed to us right now. A sweep above Asian session with SMT to reprice low. We did not sweep Asia session, but we did sweep the previous session high on yes, and got the SMT to move lower on Nasdaq, which was the weaker pair. That is why it played out so nicely and so aggressively on the 1 minute. So this was just a good price action paired with following your rules. That's all you need.